Okay, hello dear friends. Here I am in San Francisco again, and in this magnificent gallery, the Young Museum. Every time I come to the museum, I took a dozen tour, and this time it's another 3 pieces. These, please, I'm sorry, please. These are 2 pieces. They were painted separately by the same German artist. His name was Gustav Gustav Grunewald. And these paintings were on huge 5 feet to 7 feet canvas. And this was painted in 1832. And as you can imagine, this painting was about the Niagara Fall. At that time, Europe, the artist came from Europe, from Germany, and this was the quite early stage of America as a nation. It's about 100 years or sorry, I'm missing some part of American history. Anyway, it's still a very young nation, and particularly tourism was a very young industry. And Niagara Fall, from the very beginning stage, from the very early stage, as soon as it was discovered, it became the tourist attraction. So people came here to admire nature, and the painting was on 1832, and tourism was a newfound industry, a new form of luxury. People tend to dress up and took it very serious, and they were not so crowded at that time. It's only rich people or affluent, wealthy people could afford it. So you can see they dress up very formally. And you can also see there are some tourists there. I could not see very clearly, but just here and there were some tourists. And so starting from this painting, you can see the human touch of this place, and people start to seeking business opportunity. That particular structure was a wood structure. There was a staircase, spiral going down. It was said that it was built by a business entrepreneur or businessman from Philadelphia, and he made a staircase so that people can walk down from that top, walking down, and go to see the mist of water. And each entrance cost $0.25 US. This part was on the New York side. This part was on the Canadian side. But when you stitch these two pictures together, you get this an illusion as if it is connected into one piece. And the artist was a soul landscape artist. He started to admire nature and put up canvas and start to paint outside and capturing nature. So this one the docent didn't say, but if you do outside painting and if you stare at waterfall long enough, you can see the water as if it falls down step by step, cluster by cluster. I think it's because water is running continuously, but our eye vision captures every second captures 24 pictures, let's say. So our eye is actually taking picture of the moving water, cluster by cluster. This really shows a lot of it. You can see here, it's really a very, very realistic capture of the nature. And the Niagara Fall at that time was regarded as a sacred and a holy place. And people were thinking it's a myth. How come there was such a magnificent landscape here? Maybe because it's the God's hand touch. So you can see the nature's power, not only the beauty of the nature from this beautiful water, from these trees. You can also see the power of nature that break up the mountain, destroy the mountain and the rocks here and there. And some people say this might be intended. These trees all have this cross structure, maybe because it's God's hand touch. Nobody knows about it, but it's just a guess. It's just artistic imagination and illustration. You can see the agitated cloud. You can see the powerful water mists. Everything is just so complete, majestic piece. Let's come to see. You may search for this painting online if you are interested. Gustav Grunewald, the Niagara River at the cataract. This one is Horseshoe Falls from below the high bank. Two individual pieces, but such a wonderful. Let's admire. Come to a closer range. The pine tree, broken rocks, collapsed rocks, the trees, the water mists, and clouds. Here is a much earlier painting. It was a painting of 1617, oil painting by a family, 3 children, David, Joanna, and Abigail Mason. Obviously, the family of Mason was a wealthy, well-established family. At that particular time, painting, there was no photography, there was no picture, and painting was regarded as a way of recording the family, and it's also a way of showing family status. And about 1 out of 100 people could afford a painting. Not like today, everyone can take millions of pictures. That was the time. Then, that was the time that 1 out of 100 families could have one family afford a painting. And the painting of the children shows the family status, and children's behavior was always, from old time until now, children's behavior are the representation of family education, the breeding and the growing up a very well behaved, maintained manner is the status of social status of family education and growing up. So you can see the 3 kids well behaved with a very well behaved manière. And the children, you can see the number 4. There is a 4 on top of this girl's head, 6 and 8. These are the ages of the children. And at that time, the mortality rate of people growing up, make it to live to life, is 20% death or 30%. So 3 out of 10 could end up dead. And the 3 children here, they made it. So it also means the family is living a healthy and well-off life. And here, pay attention to the young lady's way, the little girl's way of pinching that skirt. Now we can see this painting. This beautiful young lady also pinching her skirt. It's kind of an elegant and fair lady manière of gesture, let's say. So the family was, the young lady was raised up with the right way of behave and healthy and pink rose chairs, rose tea. And this painting is, this one is such a beautiful painting. I listened to it last time. I forgot a little bit. Well, it's 1 out of 100 family can afford such a beautiful painting, and this young lady is such a beautiful living definitely in comfort, you can see, and you can see the clothes, the shine of the fabric. Okay, let me continue with this one. It's a beautiful painting, and as far as I heard, this lady was sitting in the same or standing in the same post for hundreds of hours for the artist to do that painting. Okay, let's move on. And there are some more beautiful paintings, but there's one particular one that I'm really interested because the other day I came here, there was one painting so beautiful, and I just love the sun and the shade, and look at it, just if you see close and see far, it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful capture of the sunshine. I did not have any artist tool, any docent tool with this painting. I was just sitting there, admire sunshine, sun on the leaf, so it's bright now, sun and the tree shade, sunlight, and shadow by Albert Bierstadt, 1862. Albert Bierstadt view of the Gothic revival chapel of the Blumenberg Royal Castle near Kassel, Germany, was based on an oil sketch he made in 1855 while a student at Düsseldorf Academy. Given the religious subject, enlightenment and darkness, however, he also contrasted the man with a top hat inside the sunlit church with the impoverished woman nursing her infant, who serves as a traditional Christian symbol of charity, but is cast in shadow on the steps outside. That I didn't notice. Yes, the other day I noticed the royal oak tree, a symbol of enduring faith in the face of diversity, and also of Christ's cross, crucifixion, and resurrection was adopted as the national tree of Germany. Bierstadt incorporated oak branches and leaves into his custom-designed Gothic revival frame. His historical style, inspired by medieval precedents, sought to endow many machine-made, mass-produced goods of the industrial era with an aura of spiritual value. Okay, here is another painting that what a beautiful, beautiful sculpture. Such a beautiful, smooth sculpture. So this painting, the other 2 weeks ago, about 2 weeks, 1.5 weeks ago, I came to Dion Museum on Friday night. Dion Museum had a Friday night open access, that the museum was free from 5:45 until 8:30. People are invited. They have drinks, food, and mostly they have music performance and open access to all the galleries and workshops and things. It's really a lively and very, very fun, interesting, and rich event. I came here, and there were many people here. This room was filled with 20-something, 30-something. Usually in gallery, you see 20, 30 people in the room. That's a big event. So I was staring at this painting, and then there was a young man looking at that piece of painting, and then I asked a group of 3 or 4 young men. I asked them, "Okay, are you art students?" And they said, "No, we are not art students. We are UC Berkeley students studying computer science." I said, "Okay, anyway, let's discuss this painting. This is such a beautiful painting, but can you guess if this is a springtime or autumn time? Because it is beautiful. We can imagine this is a springtime because people's clothes, people having a picnic outside, and still wearing some quite thick, bulky cotton dress, still very thick. So, but it could also be autumn time when the leaves falling off. Well, it's more likely springtime, but you cannot. But there is no way you can say that it could not be fall time. And then there was one student. He looked at this and he said, "The son of recreation in the mid-19th century rapid rapid industrialization, particularly in the Northeast. Our current lifestyle has to demand American life. Where did he find this painting? Was from Vermont. So he found this painting from Vermont, and he said, this must be springtime, because if it is in autumn time, Vermont, the leaves should be red. A very interesting and accurate observation. Anyway, in front of painting, we can ask a lot of questions. Sometimes asking whether it's springtime or autumn time or summertime, it's such a silly question if you know this painting. But before you know this painting, by asking these questions, it really brings you to observe more of the details. After you are trying to judge it's spring or autumn, you put much more time to see the details of the leaf. It's springtime because the leaves are young and just started. If it is autumn time, the leaf should be falling down, and the leaf is green. If it is autumn time, the leaf should be red. But without thinking and asking those questions, you may not look at this painting in such a great detail. By debating, you look into the things in much more profound detail. You are paying more attention to the clothing, to the equipment, to everything in it. You even start to think, what is that bread? Is that sourdough from San Francisco? It's in Vermont. Anyway, I love this painting. Let's see, Gerald Thompson, Recreation, 1857.